Welcome back to the program. We're just getting things started. In case you just joined us, you're watching Daybreak on Trust TV. Here's a quick reminder. You can watch the show on the go by joining our YouTube and Facebook live streams across our social media platforms as well. You can also watch us live on our website, trusttv.com. That is the destination to go. Let's talk about something that has become a running debate, so to say, to pass the verdict on the performance of the 48 ministers that we have right now in the Tinubu administration. Soon to be 49, probably, with the livestock initiative soon to take off. So there are some, conversations around cabinet reshufflement. Of course, the government has even confirmed that, at some point in time, based on performances, perhaps even the president could let some of them go or perhaps even change them. Now we understand that that is going to be a reality in no distant future. So we want you as a Nigerian to weigh in on the conversation. What do you think about a cabinet reshufflement? What would it do to the Tinubu administration? Or perhaps should some ministers be let go? I know we've had this running conversations over and over again, but now it looks like it's going to be a reality soon. So we want you to take the driver's seat and give us a sense of what you make of some of the ministers and whether a reshufflement will actually stimulate more activity or more performance in this regard. Let's get the conversation started. Give us a call, and remember the rules of engagement. Please turn down the volume of your TV set. Be as articulate as you can, and also help us save time by going straight to the point and allowing for others to join the conversation as well. I think it's long overdue. I think with regards to the urgency and the dire situation that the economy is in, the president would have impressed on the ministers to say, listen, I don't have all the time in the world to allow you guys to settle in. I need results as soon as possible. And that would, send shockwaves to them that, listen, he's not going to just sit around and wait for us to spend the 4 years without seeing results. And I think that some of them deserve that kick, either to sit up or to say, okay, listen, make way for somebody else to come and do the job.
As media gatekeepers and people who deal with information per minute, I still cannot remember the names of some ministers off the back of my head.
I still don't.
Sometimes it's difficult to even remember that some ministries even exist. It's basically it does appear that they are just behind the veil and just tagging on along with the general performance of others. Somebody jokingly told me that there are ministers who buy the papers just to read about the performance of other ministers in the same cabinet. And it's funny, And this speaks to why even in our selection process, in our leadership recruitment process, people have argued for why the president in selecting ministers would, in sending them for clearance, should have indicated portfolios. So that in the clearing process, the conversation will be about how much of the industry you understand and what you're going to be doing differently. And from day one, that will set the template for your evaluation. And if you don't, you make it obvious for everybody to understand. If we were doing that ab initio, it would have been easy to hold people to account. Well, most of these guys, it does appear, have showed up, walking about as though they don't even understand what the responsibilities are, and so that is where the argument around settling down and all of that, come into play. We have our numbers display, and I understand we have our first caller. Good morning, your name and where you calling from?
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I am. Please kindly share your name with us and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Ikeno Gafo.
Sir Kafo, good morning. Where are you calling from, please?
From Lagos.
Lagos, thank you. Please kindly go ahead.
Please, for me, the reshufflement is not what is needed. We need to pick all the unfortunate ministers. There are 47 of them. Precisely, maybe 28 is working. So we don't need reshufflement. What do we need? For the president to remove them and put those that are competent. But Nigeria needs the real change. They claim the APC is doing. So that's my little suggestion.
Yeah, Mr. Okafo, thank you. Just before you go, if you can just spare a few seconds, which areas do you want to see significant improvement in, especially?
Communication.
Communications, right.
Communication.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Have a lovely day. We hope that the conditions in Lagos allow for smooth, activities today because of the rains and all of that. But, that's a very good point to also situate the issues. Which areas do Nigerians, feel needs a lot more to be done? And listen, sometimes the issues are quite multidimensional because you're talking about limited resources also. There are some ministries whose hands are tied because without resources, they can't really do much. They can't actualize some of the items on the president's agenda or manifesto. Let's go back to the phone lines. Next caller is on. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Your name and where you're calling from. Good morning.
My name is Abdullahi Yobe. I'm calling from Yobe State Capital, Damaturu.
Abdul Malik from Yobe from Damaturu in Yobe. Good morning, Abdul Malik. Go ahead.
Yeah, about the issue of cabinet reshufflement. Honestly, there is a problem in Nigerian politics. When the president is elected, the first thing he has to do, he has to look around and appoint technocrats. But the problem is this. They just go around, just catch anybody they thought has done well during their campaign to put them in the office that is not fit to run. So in that situation, there is going to be a problem, and that is exactly what we are facing today.
Yeah, and Abdul
How
Malik,
will you appoint a minister?
Yeah, some would say, sometimes this political patronage might be a good thing if you're trying to go about equality and all of that. But give me a sense of which areas you want to see the president focus his attention on, if he has to reshuffle or appoint new ministers to address the gaps that we're identifying.
The Ministry of Communication.
Okay. Right.
When you look at communication, it's a kind of a vast ministry that entails so many things. The issue of the security of the nation, the communication ministry shoulders it. The issue of economy of the country, the communication ministry shoulders it. When there is no security and there is no economic boom in a country, that country is gone. Secondly, Ministry of Defense. You have to appoint somebody that has military background, that has the capability of foreseeing what an architecture of defense is all about. Somebody that has no military background, how will he engineer or a kind of forerun a ministry that is so-called defense ministry? So these two ministries are a kind of very critical.
Yeah.
If there is any cabinet reshufflement that needs to be done, I believe in these two ministries. If it is done, we are going to be relieved in this country.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Abdul Malik. Thank you so much, Abdul Malik. I appreciate you for the call. I would also add areas like agriculture and food security, for instance. They need to do more. Healthcare also. I mean, I know the scale of the problem would always outweigh the scale of the solution, but listen, there's room for improvement. And I get his point about, it's surprising for me to hear communications because the guy we have there is one of the youngest and brightest minds, from the private sector. And I can't argue with some of their viewpoints because I've been less than satisfied as a paying customer with what I've been getting over the past few months. I'm not going to say it's limited to just his, tenure, but we expect to see improvement, not a decline in quality.
The impression of Nigerians is like it does appear that the players in the communication space have become, if you like, bigger than the regulator. It appears that the regulator only backs, but finds it difficult to bite. And that is why you continue to get these poor services, and all they do is to explain their ways away. They explain the problems away. When you tell them you don't get values for data, they say, no, it has to be your fault. There's something going on with your phone, and that is why the data depletion is faster, and all of that. This just doesn't cut it.
And then the data breach.
The data breach, the drop calls, and all of that. All right. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, my name is Abdullahi.
From where,
I'm calling from Bida local government, Niger State.
How is Bida this morning? I hope the rice farming has begun.
Bida is fine.
That's good. Please go ahead and make your point.
I just want to chip in my contribution in respect to respect to the cabinet reshufflement.
Yes, go ahead.
I think I totally agree with the last speaker. About placing people in
hello.
area.
I need you to turn down the volume of your TV set and just go ahead and make your point. You don't have to listen to yourself. It is interfering with your communication.
Okay. About placing people in the field where they are not specialized. But then, I believe that appointment of ministerial is a kind of settlement to people that assist a political party to come into existence to rule the country. So even if there is not to be 10-time reshufflement of cabinet, it's still other people that are still yet not settled that they will be appointed to that office. They are still not going to do it objectively if it is this Nigeria. But I pray to God Almighty Allah that things should be going right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Square pegs, square holes, right? Especially with that Ministry of Defense. I don't know the president's thinking there. We always talk about political will, but also, my goodness, a defender sometimes can be a threat in attacking, but this is not sports. This is about expertise. This is about, your ability to actually fit in the conversation of tactics, of strategy, and things. And you cannot develop these skill sets or knowledge overnight. It doesn't happen that way.
Sometimes when I sit down, I try to understand what goes on in cabinet. For instance, we understand that the president holds security meeting with service chiefs, given. But when you come to the cabinet where certain things are discussed and positions canvassed for, where is the expertise when it comes to military intelligence? None. All you have in the cabinet are lawyers and seasoned politicians. There are about 5 or 10 lawyers in the cabinet and seasoned politicians, and that's it. So if you want to diversify conversations around fact findings and solutions finding, who are those people from the military hierarchy, whether as ministers of police or minister of defense, that can help you understand what needs to be done and where they are headed? Is it former governors?
These are specialized areas of our economy and our society, and they need specialists.
They do,
right? You can't just go into a field that you've never built the required experience or knowledge, and you expect it to do well. It's just a recipe for disaster more often than not. I think we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, it appears that there's a connection problem or the caller is not ready to speak. So let's move on to the next caller then. Quick reminder, please turn down the volume of your TV set when you call in. Be as articulate and as concise as possible so that we can allow room for others to contribute to the conversation. We're discussing a possible cabinet reshuffle. It has been hinted at so many different stages of the administration. So many people have come forward. I think one of the recent voices is Daniel Bwala. I mean, he's not the most popular person in the country, but he has hinted that it's quite likely that it's going to be possible. He's been speaking highly of the Tinubu administration recently, and of course, this is not necessarily a new idea, because even the president, during that presidential ministerial meeting, has hinted that if they do not perform, they're going to find themselves out of a job from his administration. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
This is Garba from Makodi, Benin State.
Come again?
Hello?
Hello, come again, please.
Garba from Makodi, Benin.
Tefa from Makodi.
Tefa from Makodi.
Yes.
Okay, good morning, Tefa. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you for having me. Honestly, business the candidate. The cabinet.
Mr. Tefa, please, can you kindly speak up a bit?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Hello?
Yes, please. This
go
is
ahead,
better.
please.
Yeah. I said, be honest, it needs reshuffle. That's the gospel truth. Like if you look at the Ministry of the Minister of Agriculture, to be honest, it is a vital position. It's the lifeblood of the economy of the country. But if you look at what the minister is doing, honestly, it's not something that will rise on my power. Let's be sincere to ourselves. Ministry of Defense too. You will not carry somebody that is a layman there and put there. You need to be professional. That is good in that field. But otherwise, you can take anybody. But to be sincere, that way you get it wrong. There are some vital ministry that you need experts there. Not that carry someone from somewhere and put it there just like being there because he's a politician. I'm urging on him. If you want to get it right, let him change them. Let him reshuffle them. Someone mentioned of Minister of Defense. I agree with you. Even Minister of Health, someone that have a kind of CV. I'm not seeing his work. Let me sincere to Africa. Let them work up. I don't know who is in their KPI. They can see what they are doing. That's why all these things are happening in the country. If you get a minister, like for instance, I expect the Minister of Agriculture, he has his Commissioner of Agriculture, the Commissioner of Agriculture issue, address and to go to the rural community, local community, and they have to when you see it's quite sharing, I will not have the matter.
Yeah. Tefa, thank you so much, and I do appreciate. I do appreciate the passion with which you speak about some of these issues, even though the audio quality is not quite good, and I believe our previous callers will say, ergo why we said the communications ministry needs to be looked at, significantly. But let's move on to our next caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, unfortunately, we've lost our connection to that one. Feel free to try again. I would love to hear from you. The minister's go-to person when it comes to keeping track of some of these performances, Abdullahi Usman, floated the Citizens Tracker app. I know we did an episode about it some time ago. And I dare say that if we go back to that dashboard, we're not going to see anything significant. Most of the ministries are performing
it doesn't appear like
slightly below average or slightly above average. There are some of them that stand out because of obvious reasons, not necessarily because of the minister, but because of the volume of the activities. And I'm not saying all the ministers have underperformed, but the president is surely less than satisfied with what they've been able to do so far.
All right, we'll take this next call. Good morning, your name and where you calling from. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, your name and where you calling from.
I am James Monday. I am calling from Benue State, Kasinala.
Good morning. Another call from Benue State, Kasinala. How is Kasinala this morning?
Glory be to God, sir.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Now, the issue we have today is not about reshuffling. Now, if there were reshuffle, what we are seeing will still continue. Now, the reason why we keep on failing it is because people that have skills or people that are supposed to be in a position for what they know, they are not being put in that area. Maybe somebody that studied agriculture, that knows things about agriculture, will not be given an area that it will work and deliver its results effectively.
Maybe they will go and carry somebody that did an economist or that study mathematics and put in an agricultural area. How would the person deliver what is required of him? Now, to reshuffle this will still keep us back. The best way to do, anyone that refuses to deliver what is supposed to deliver, let that person be removed automatically. And let another person be replaced there so that effective results will come out. Reshuffling. When they reshuffle now and give that person another position, the same way the person is doing this side, we still do it in the other way again, which will not help the country. Let the person be removed so that by the time they give to another person, the person will deliver the result he's supposed to deliver. And by so doing, everybody will be serious with what he's doing. By doing so, our country will go forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that thought.
For that thought. You know, there's that argument, of course, and it will continue to linger about, you know, how some of the portfolios of these individuals just do not match with the responsibility. And I think we are at that era where the government can even do a simple search, a trend analysis of ministers from previous administration to date, and compare performance between where you have the minister with the right portfolio in the right ministry to where you just have a generalist head a ministry, and see what outcomes are. Good morning. Your name and where you are calling from?
Good morning. My name is Tony, calling from Benin.
Good morning, Mr. Tony. It's good to hear your voice this morning. Please go ahead.
Thank you. The matter of fact is things is not working. And if things is not working, let me give this as an instance. President let us take president as an engine. And if you come in engine, there are components that make the engine to work. Now, the ministers are the components and the advisors. For complete 1 year and now, this is not working well, which all of us know. How comes we come? $1 in America will be almost 1,900, 2,000 naira. Before you know it, it drops to 1,400. Before you know it, it goes back to 1,800. Before you know it, it comes to 1,600. That shows that the people in the system there, they are trying, but they don't have capacity to deal with the challenges. How comes that in a country where a bushel of rice is sold at the rate of 3,000 something, or let's say 7,000 something, when you come into power, the same bushel of rice is being sold at the rate of 34,000. Go to all sectors, things is not working.
So, Mr. Tony,
I'm hearing you.
Some argue that given the precarious states of things this administration met, that 1 year is too little a time to begin to evaluate or track performance. Do you agree with that school of thought?
1 year is enough for somebody that is following politics to know whether things will work. Except those that are not conversant with the news and something of politics. If government have challenges and government is taking full step to resolve issue, you that are following up news and something in politics, we know that things will work. As I'm talking to you, we have a problem of food. What steps are government taking to see that the farmers go back and start doing their farm? As we are having challenges of other things, what steps are they taking? Like Dangote now is crying that he's getting crude oil from America to refine. What steps are Nigerian government taking? Because if crude oil is being given to Dangote in Nigeria, petrol price will drop for some of us that are using petrol.
Yeah, so Mr. Tony,
what steps are federal government taking to address that issue?
Yeah. So, Mr. Tony, if you can identify some of the ministries or sectors that you would love to see the president take an interest in to find the right person for the job, which sectors do you want to see, being addressed?
I think the people in finance sector need to exit.
Finance?
Because finance controls everything in any country. And they should not play politics. It's not a time to reward their party members. It's not time. If Mr. President loves Nigerians, this is not right time to please your party members, but to make name that will be written in a golden book. If he does that without patronizing APC members, but looking for the best hand to work with him, his name will be written in golden book. And that is the only way out in the situation that we are in now. It's not a matter of resolving. So ministers need to exit. Right. And allow the capable hand to come in.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Eze. As always, it's good to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. The jury is out on this one. I mean, it's safe to say even before we open the phone lines, you could easily predict what most people are going to say about this, because the situation that we're in right now is less than desirable. And you can't help but hold the people who are responsible for actualizing this renewed hope agenda for failing to renew the hope of Nigerians. And Mr. President has the prerogative to say, listen,
when you listen to some of these ministers as somebody who needs to tracks development, it leaves you completely lost. Every time they talk, two questions come to your mind. Do they even understand the responsibility? And is anybody holding them to the fire? Two components. Because sometimes if somebody is holding you to the fire, it could force you to wake up. Maybe there are latent potentials that you're not waking up. All we see, painfully, are just optics. The ministers now have...
Do you remember the talk shops from the ministerial briefing?
Yeah.
When the president said, go and show workings, as they would say in the Nigerian parlance, so that Nigerians can actually, feel the impact of you being, cabinet ministers. I dare say, no, more than 5 of them had something to say.
I'm sure if they play back those tapes, they can do a fair self-assessment. There's only one part of the ministers that have worked, and that is their social media handle department. We are seeing more of optics. They go to parties, they show us pictures, they're jumping on the planes, they're showing us pictures, they're sitting in their office, they are putting on new clothes. The social media people are showing us pictures with musical tunes in the backgrounds that Nigerians would naturally nod their heads
but
to.
I also think the president needs to walk the talk. Yeah. He said he's going to show some of them the way out if they underperform, and I think the jury is out. The underperformance is quite obvious, and we need to see the president walk the talk when it comes to this one. Let's speak to our next caller then. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the program. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Awusko, and I'm calling from Nasarawa, Kaduna.
Okay. Nasarawa in Kaduna. Okay, good. Go ahead, please.
You see, I advise the President Tinubu not to play politics with his appointment or try to appease his party members. He should look for the best hand in Nigeria and even in diaspora because of the dire condition of Nigeria which we are in now. We want qualified and credible people that will act as a minister in Nigeria. It's not for party patronage. I want him to reshuffle the defense ministry and bring capable hands. Most especially, he should look for a gallant, retired army officer so that the Ministry of Defense and the Junior Minister of Defense are capable hands that could tackle the insecurity that has ravaged this country over 20 years ago now. It should bring in competent retired general so that these bandits, these kidnappers and killer herdsmen will be wiped away so that our farmers and our roads will be okay for Nigerians.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Abusko, for joining the conversation. I appreciate your contribution on this one. From that, I think in most states in the north, there's always a Nasarawa, either as a local government or as a community. That's right. Now, whether it's Nasarawa or Nasarawa, it depends. But to his point exactly, I wonder, when it comes to operations in the private sector, for instance, right? Private sector, generally speaking, it's always about meritocracy. If you're not able to do the job, nobody's going to hide your incompetence.
And
they're going to boot you and look for someone.
That's the only sector that seems to be thriving amidst all of the headwinds.
Exactly. And you go to the creative arts, for instance, or any other sector that's outside of the government, or even in other clients, for instance. If you're not getting the job done, if you're not fit for purpose, you take a bow and let somebody else take over. But only in Nigeria can you be safe in your incompetence. And I'm not calling anybody incompetence, but I'm saying that there is an overriding feeling that whether you're able to do the job or not, your job is safe.
As long as the president wants you there.
We've been here before. With all due respect to past administrations, I think we've seen this game play out before, where ministers are incapable of doing the job and nothing happens to them. They even get another appointment if the president comes back for the second term.
All right. Painfully, that's a much we can take as far as the call-in segment is concerned. We'll take a quick breather. When we return, we'll be diving straight into our first conversation for the day. Please don't go away.